I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
It's Pack Your Knives. I'm Kevin Arnovitz.
I'm Tom Haberstroh.
Tom, fa la la. It's the Christmas episode with all these people in short sleeves in Louisville in April and May doing Christmas, but it was very festive. It was very desserty. There is a gift exchange. I do not understand it all, which you will explain to me.
Yes, I will.
But a lot going on in this episode. So let's get started. Big impressions from you.
Yeah, I think the fact that there was the midnight dessert, I can't think of anything that would start off great. The law of diminishing returns applies here, Kevin, where, hey, I've had a couple drinks, 13 desserts sounds amazing. And then by dessert, 2, you're feeling like I can't do this anymore. So hats off to everybody who ate 13 dessert dishes at 2 a.m. Probably would have to run like 6 marathons the next day just to work it off. But
hats off to everybody who cooked at like midnight after wine. I'm in bed most nights at 10. Like what a downer to have this lovely dinner with Eric Repair and beautiful wine and a lovely setting, and then be thrust into the kitchen with like 13 other people fighting over like oven space at 1:45 in the morning. Yuck.
I'm surprised that there weren't any hospital visits and or arrests made.
That was rough.
Yeah.
We will talk a little bit later about my misgivings about dessert-based challenges and sort of what I think is a very exceptional skill that I wouldn't say is unfair, but I just think is sort of a different animal than what these people on the show are sort of there to do. And we'll talk a little bit about that. The quick fire, I need some explanation. Tom, I'm very confused. I've watched the episode twice now. I am not a Gentile. I grew up in a Hanukkah household and didn't really even like know Christians until like I was 13. So like would you explain to me? And I'm a good system guy, as you know. I am an INTJ. I understand systems.
I'm surprised you didn't get this.
What the fuck is going on with that? What is that?
So
how does it work?
Every year with my Indiana, Kentucky, Kentuckiana, if you will. That's a real thing, by the way. those who are on the Ohio River, just
Is that like
across.
Pennsyltucky and Orange is the New Black?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's kind of a merging of cultures of there's right across the Ohio River. There's Indiana, Jeffersonville, New Albany there.
Is the capital? What is the capital
of Kentucky?
Of Kentucky. Is it Evansville? Is it Louisville? Like Cincinnati?
Yeah, Evansville. My father-in-law, he worked at the Colgate factory, like the Colgate HQ, which was I believe in Jeffersonville, right across the Ohio River. But he lived in Louisville, grew up in Louisville, went to UK, stayed in Louisville, still lives in Louisville, and he just worked across the Ohio River there. So, there is, like, when you go and watch TV on the local channels, there's ads for the Kentuckiana Ford motor dealership. It's just this thing. So at every summer when we get together for like the family lake house week, we do a white elephant exchange, like a gift exchange. And I didn't understand this. And as someone who grew up in New England, the same location, roughly, the same region as Brian, we never called it. I never knew what this was until about like college when I started meeting people outside of New England. And I never heard it being called a Yankee swap. And it's kind of a derogatory term if you're from Boston like Brian is, and you call it a Yankee swap, he says it's a mean-spirited gift exchange. It makes sense that he would call it a Yankee swap, given the rivalry between the Red Sox and the Yankees. So what happens is you draw out of a hat, one through however many people are in your group. Let's just say there's 15 chefs. They drew knives. You think, Kevin, here's where the switch is. You think getting the number one pick is a good thing. It is an awful thing. That means you are going to be bullied. You are going to be just crushed. Everything you thought you owned is going to be pilfered from you, and your soul is going to be slammed to the floor. So I think was it David who got the number one pick in this?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I was so confused.
So if you have the number one pick, you choose whatever you want, and you have this glimmer of like, yay, I get to have in a white elephant exchange, everyone brings something to the table, and then they put it on the table. And if you have the number one pick, you're like, ooh, give me the Amazon Echo, and you get the Amazon Echo. But the second pick has the option to steal your Amazon Echo from you, and you as a common folk one seed, you can't do anything about it. You have to give
up. What
do
you get? Then you go back to the table?
You go back to the drawing table and pick something else. But here's the catch. Do you pick something that you want? Or do you pick something that no one else wants? And so you do this little bit of game theory in your head where knowing that anyone can steal anything that you grab, you might not want to get your favorite thing on the table.
So what you do is you pick something that you value more than anybody else, but probably isn't the most valuable item.
Right. So you want to pick something that you know that maybe no one else. You have like this little quirky obsession about I don't know, Monopoly cards, and so you go get that, and no one else is going to go get that. So David has the option to go pick the coolest thing out there, the batch of ingredients that is going to be the best, but then you're just going to get it stolen from you every single time. So the third pick can steal from the second pick or the first pick, or they can go get, if they don't like those two other things, they can go back to the table and get whatever they want. The person who has the most valuable position is the person that picks last, because that person can survey the entire array of ingredients and boxes and say, I want that, I want that, I want that, and you have no worry about someone stealing it from you. So white elephant Yankee swap is like a draft in reverse, is the best way I can describe it. You want to be the last pick.
Now, remind me, God, I'm so confused. Did everybody know what was inside the box? Not until later, right? You had to just sort of guess which person did the best job in their box.
Yeah, I think there was this kind of unknown, this little uncertainty. If you were just tunnel vision, just put the blinders on. There's a horse reference there. If you put the blinders on and you just focused on your ingredients, you might be at a disadvantage. And this is where the little gamesmanship comes into play. If you're chatting it up with people, hey, what are you doing? Or what are you doing? You might kind of know a little sleuthing about what's in their box. So I think I think they were not totally transparent. Like, this is what's in this box or that box. And Kevin,
but they were all fighting. They saw what each other grabbed. And like, and for instance, if you knew you wanted some Asian profile flavors, you know that Nini sort of has been focusing on that sort of stuff. If you know, like Brandon's been a guy who's sort of like, I'm going to do dishes based around red meat. You know, you're probably going to be sitting with some kind of ribeye or strip.
And I'm guessing
something.
Kevin.
Okay, all right.
I'm guessing Kevin announced to the group that I got 5 different flours and no eggs. So, so here's the other thing that's interesting, Kevin. I told you my in-laws are from Louisville, Kentucky. They brought me a hard copy. You can hear it. A hard copy of the Louisville Courier Journal. Okay, and they are covering the behind-the-scenes Top Chef.
Oh, no
episode
kidding.
by episode. So here's a little snippet. I want to read it to you from the latest Courier Journal from Friday, December 21st. That's yesterday, recording on a Saturday. Lindsay McClave, special to Louisville Courier Journal from the USA Today Network, writes, while the table is reset, the chefs are pulled off camera and given a detailed outline of the challenge itself, allowing them a chance to ask questions about the dish, which this is about the quickfire, which is something I had always been curious about as a viewer. In fact, each chef is asked to sign a document indicating they are in full understanding of the challenge. This allows far more time to conceptualize the dish they're tasked with, making than what would appear on television. In this case, their best holiday dish. Even so, they only have 2 minutes to shop in the Top Chef pantry with no access after the time is up. So, I don't think that they knew what was in each box, but there is this gap of time. Once they're told what the quickfire challenge is, they have this little like break area where they go and they do the legal work where you're able to ask any questions and sign an NDA or whatever it is that I won't dispute this quickfire challenge. I had no idea about this.
Oh, there's all kinds of stuff on reality show productions. They do a wonderful job. And actually I wrote a piece for Slate in 2004. I was a writer on a competition reality series on Showtime called The American Candidate. And basically a bunch of common folk are going to be essentially a primary running for president. And the challenges are exactly what you would think they are. You have to go sign up volunteers and canvass and whatever. And I was Montel Williams hosted the show, and I was for several weeks, Montel Williams' writer. So, all that stuff that Tom and Padma say, now I don't know, though they're so polished, they might very well just be ad-libbing it. Who knows? But hello, contestants. Today we're going to talk about one of the great fundamentals of democracy, which is blah, blah, blah. Like, I was the guy who wrote that. But what's really interesting is, so what I did for Slate was I was so fascinated when I was on the production of the lingo. Like, there's all this reality show production lingo. Whether you're talking about the editors, whether you're talking about the producers, the talent wranglers, and a word like sequestered is the time in which they basically isolate the the contestants, so that they just can't learn anything. I mean, and they're sort of just removed. So that was, I'll have to I'll have to bring that link up. We need a website so we can put this stuff on, but if I did write a Slate guide to reality show lingo. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
This doesn't surprise you that there's this. Because I would imagine there might be some disputes of hey, I didn't understand. You said cheese, but does milk count as cheese? I'd imagine there's some gray areas in the challenge. So this makes sense that they would try to just kind of square all those questions away. So there's no at the dinner table wait a minute, this. I didn't know we weren't supposed to use a fork.
So the quickfires, once they get what they get in their box, and it was very unsatisfying to most people because they just grabbed a bunch of crap in 2 minutes, and some of the boxes
they got Yankee swapped. Yep.
Right. A lot of the boxes were just laughably ill-suited to preparing anything worth eating. But Nini, David, and Sarah finished at the top, and Sarah I was very happy about because she wanted to essentially do a play on chopped liver, and which is a Jewish delicacy. I know there's a Jewish delicacy. It's a Jewish standard bear. There's always. I grew up with just chopped liver prepared by the matriarchs of my family at pretty much every holiday or notable event. And it was usually kind of an appetizer to put out in lieu of what would now be in the culture like hummus and carrots. It was sort of the dip that was put out. And I think, if I'm correct, schmaltz was used on this episode for the first time spoken as a word. And it makes me so happy because schmaltz is chicken fat. And schmaltz is just Jewish chicken fat. It is what's left over, the grease when you roast a chicken. And if you're a good Jewish bubby, you like save that shit the way Southerners save bacon grease, and you cook with it. And, and actually when you make chopped liver, schmaltz is kind of what gives it that moisture, which kind of, you mash up the chicken livers with the schmaltz. And I was so happy to hear the word schmaltz. Now, she, of course, used pork fat, to which Padma said, if I got this dish on Passover, I'd be very happy, which was such this beautiful expression of unintentional irony. Because can you imagine getting a dish prepared with pork fat on Passover? So that was that was my favorite moment of the quickfire part of the show.
That's great. And Sarah
finished in the top 3.
Yeah, she's from Paducah, Kentucky, and as she says, she loved growing up in Kentucky as a Jew, or in Paducah, because she just got to eat a whole bunch of fried foods, and she says she was the only Jew in Kentucky, which prompted me, Kevin, to look this up. Is like, where does Kentucky rank on the Jewish population, percentage of Jews in their population? And it turns out they have the 36th fewest by percentage of population, the 36th fewest Jews in the state of Kentucky, ranks 36 in America. And you growing up in Atlanta, huge population of Jews right there in Atlanta.
Yeah, Metro Atlanta now has well over 115,000 Jews. So yeah, Atlanta is a very Jewish city, but relatively speaking, it's not like New York or Boston. But actually, no. I mean, Jews came to Paducah. Let's go with this. There were in 1859. There were 11 Jewish-owned businesses in Paducah. Some of the earliest Jews to arrive in Paducah were Morris and Abraham Lowenstein.
Okay, the Lowensteins.
And Leopold Claw, which would be a great name for a basketball player. Leopold Claw,
yes.
Or a fastballer, or a knuckleballer. Leopold Claw.
The Paducah population is 25,000 people as of 2016, Kevin. And according to this virtual library, Jewish virtual library, there's 0.26% of the state of Kentucky residents are Jewish. So I did the math. I extrapolated a little bit. 25,000 times 0.0026 equals 63 Jews in Paducah.
63, yes, and they have one congregation, Temple Israel, and so yeah, there is. So she speaking in hyperbole, she probably was the only Jewish kid at most functions.
Pretty much.
So Paducah, not a center or a cradle of Jewish life in America, but one with a Jewish history. So David's leek pasta. Moving on, juxtaposing two completely incongruent thoughts. David's leek pasta. I love when people can make like noodles out of shit that shouldn't be noodles. And apparently the judges were equally impressed. You give the guy leeks, he makes leek pasta.
David is such a dark horse in this thing. Like what
is
happens?
He even dark horse anymore, Tom?
Well, my question is, Kevin, if they're saying, "Hey, make a protein dish," is he at a disadvantage because he is so good at making dishes that have no protein in it? And it's like, hey, I don't think this is going to work, and then it's amazing. Dark horse, no, by points, I think he's second at this point. So,
I mean, I'm going to put it to you right now, Tom Haberstroh.
Okay.
I gave you one pick right now, $50,000 if you pick it correctly. Who's going to win this tournament? Do you have anybody over David Viana?
Oh, yeah. Nini win for sure. For sure.
All right.
And you know what? That might be a little bit of homer bias here because she is on my team. And right now she's the top point getter on my team. But I'm still that was my second pick, Nini, and I stand by it.
No, it's a great pick,
but David is a juggernaut and someone who has a crush on everybody. Apparently,
He is. He was sort of obsequious, in a somewhat uneasy way with both Blaze and Brooke.
I don't think that's a good strategy, right? Like to
I mean, I don't know.
profess
People
your
like
love
to, have
for
their,
someone.
like to have their asses kissed. I mean, we'll have to ask Richard Blaze. We get him on here. We'll have to ask him,
Yeah.
like, does flattery get you nowhere? But one of the things I really loved about Nini's quickfire challenge is I'm a big fan of the elevation of white trash dishes. And so she does this kind of cream cheese and pepper jelly dip that like one of those like dips that kind of somebody throws some cream cheese and some other crap in there and you put out like good old like Ruffles.
It's when you go to a Christmas party and you forgot to get something, so you go to Trader Joe's real quick and you just grab something, and it's
Trader Joe's has done a nice job of elevating like some of the white trash. I mean, the ultimate, of course, is like pimento cheese dip, which you see everywhere now and is always delicious. Because what's not delicious about pimento cheese? But I do love kind of the elevation of like goopy crab dip and that spinach artichoke gunk you see places. Jello molds of various sorts. And so she took, and she said, this was something she kind of ran across at one of her first American friends' houses. And you imagine Louisiana, exactly the kind of place that would produce some cream cheesy, gunky appetizer. But like the thing about those white trash standards is they're always really freaking delicious in kind of a guilty way. So she made do with that, and she served it with apples and finished in the top 3 of the quickfire. More Nini just mastery of this show right now. I mean, she is on fire.
Yeah, like I think you would not trade David for Nini, and I wouldn't trade Nini for David. I think we're very happy with the captains of our team right now.
Yeah, and those are kind of I think the 2 clubhouse leaders right now. If Jimmy Shapiro were to send us the odds of who's going to win Top Chef 16, I would imagine they would be the top 2, would they not?
Oh yeah, for sure. So I feel pity for those who like Brooke and Richard had to wear like heavy Christmas sweaters in May in Louisville. That doesn't sound like fun.
No, but I bet they pump the AC in there. I mean, that's the great thing about the South, as you know, like, and having grown up in the South. Like, there's nothing like Southern air conditioning. Like you walk into a place and it is 70 degrees cooler than it is outside. Bottom 3, Eddie, actually, who I've sort of been of the opinion is kind of a mistake-free chef who can pretty much make do with anything, made a curry from ingredients from Nini that the judges did not like. Justin, who got Kevin's shitty box of like flour and kimchi.
What Kevin? What? Like we should try to get Kevin on at some point and just ask what happened there, because getting 5 batches of flour without any egg is like it's like getting like lighter fluid but have nothing to light it with. Like it's just like, what's the point?
He is a absolutely endearing space cadet.
Yeah, I love the blue glasses when he's going with there, but like it's like, I have 3 types of flour, but you know what? That's not enough, Kevin. I need 5.
And Kelsey did an asparagus bacon dish. Everyone always loved like I love when I go to one of those like authentic yakitori places. You always get like the asparagus can be wrapped in bacon, and but apparently not enough bacon. Someone didn't bring home enough bacon, and that was that. That's good. But yeah, so David wins for his leek pasta, gets immunity, which he probably didn't need, and the whole group, right? So I'll take it. I will take it. Eric Repair is the star of the sort of wish fulfillment part of the show, where the chefs get to do something cool and kind of put down the competition for a second. And Eric Repair is sort of like, if the Simpsons were like, he is a guy who could be a Simpsons character. Like, he's so beautifully elegant in his kind of in his Frenchness.
I was just gonna say, you could say Frenchness. Like you could say Frenchiness. It is kind of not a cartoon character, but he is kind of very Simpson, where it's like, yeah, that is exactly what I'd imagine the top fine dining chef from France is. His personality, the way he speaks, the food that he likes, that he doesn't like, and just what he looks like. Yeah, he is very much a caricature.
But like in a beautiful way. And by the way, do you know he's only 53?
No.
Yeah, like Eric Repair is only 53. I just assume, I feel like when he took over Le Bernardin, that was like 40 years ago. Like he's such a standard bearer
on that. What would you put the over under on him?
No,
Like,
I don't think
without
it's like
that
he
knowledge.
looks old. Like when I learned, oh, he's 53. I looked at him. He's like, yeah. I mean, he looks good. He's a handsome man. He doesn't look like he's in his. It's just like he's such a standard bearer.
It's the hair.
That I just
it's the color hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
53. So that was
he shows up, and I'm sure everyone's happy, and this is great. And just like when they were just at Maker's Mark, they're giving everyone bourbon. There's got to be a little bit of dread here of like, wait, they're being too nice right now.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course this dinner goes till midnight. They're drinking wine, and then the shoe drops as it is wont to do on a Top Chef episode, and the chefs are told they must be dispatched to the kitchen where they're going to have to make. And I didn't know this. And again, will you educate me again? Is there like 13 official Christmas? Is it like the 12 day? What is the 13 desserts of Christmas? Is that actually a thing?
I always thought it was the 12 days of Christmas, but that might be wrong. 13, maybe.
Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking it up now. 13 desserts of Provence. There's actually, all right, so hold on. There is now, okay. I'm going to read from Wikipedia because if it's from Wikipedia, it must be true.
Yep.
The 13 desserts are the traditional dessert foods used in celebrating Christmas in the French region of Provence. The quote, Big Supper ends with a ritual 13 desserts representing Jesus Christ and the 12 apostles. I'm assuming the Jesus dessert is much more grand than the apostle desserts. I don't know. The desserts always number 13. But the exact items vary by local or familial tradition. The food traditionally is set out Christmas Eve and remains on the table 3 days until December 27th. So you're just like leaving that shit out for 3 days? I guess you got to be careful with like the ricotta. I don't know.
Yeah.
So and then there's an entire list. So apparently it's not like it doesn't look like there are 13 specific desserts. It's just you make 13, and here are some suggestions. Some biscotti, some Yule Log, 2 kinds of nougat, light thin waffles. I don't know, all this stuff. Various biscuits. So anyway, that explains that. Okay, there's nothing like doing research during the show rather than before the show. Very, very Joe Rogan. So let's what are we doing here? We've got they're dispatched to the kitchen. And can we talk about dessert challenges for a second?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's just dive in here.
Listener, listen up. This is important. Okay. I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago, and I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with a cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings. Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for this day.
Like, I
what
feel
is
for
your
Brian.
thought?
I kind of feel for Brian. And like Brian says, like I don't. I mean, yes, you should go into Top Chef with a dessert dish in your back pocket. But he says, I'm a butcher. I cut meat. I don't have a dessert, and I feel sympathetic to that. Which is, I don't know. It just feels. It feels a little elementary to do a dessert dish for an elimination challenge, especially, Kevin, when you're resigned to being in this little shoebox of a kitchen where you're all having to share. So it's doubly unfair, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, so my issue is this, like, I'm not a big fan of dessert or baking challenges. And one of the reasons is that, like, baking is so precise. And while I appreciate that precision is kind of part of the challenge, I mean, someone could argue, well, no, exactly. Like, it's the ultimate challenge, right? Yeah. Like, it's a real skill. But I feel like it doesn't allow for any like improvisation or whimsy. In basketball terms, Tom, I guess it's like you got to run sets. You can't read and react, and there's just no improvisation. And like, you know, I just – and because I think so many great chefs it's a different category of skill. By the way, it's not a coincidence that the 2 chefs with real pastry experience ended up among the top 3. And so that's my issue. It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I mean, there's definitely some problem solving that you watch while it's going on. There's some amusement at their exasperation. It's late, so that is interesting into itself. But I just feel like I'm just not – there's something always a little unsatisfying about the dessert baking challenges. I want to have a couple notes here I did make. I'm very much warming to Brandon.
Hey, I'm with you, man.
You know, like we dismissed him as the designated asshole. I mean, 2 points. First off, his advice has been right every single time.
Yes.
Like he told Adrian, you don't have enough time for rolled pasta. Guess what? She should have listened to him. You know what? He told Kevin your dessert was too salty. And you know what? It was too salty.
It was.
And he has a very nice smile. Can I just say? Very nice smile.
Okay. Speaking of which, Kevin, how is he not 3,000 pounds?
Who?
Brandon. He grew up. His parents ran a chocolate factory.
Yes, they ran a chocolate factory.
Can we talk about the name? Did you note the name?
It was Gold.
Leo Gold's Fantazzle Madazzle Chocolate Factory.
That is a very Jewy name.
Leo Gold's Fantazzle Madazzle Chocolate Factory. How is he? He was the kid, as he said, he picked off the bad desserts with the bad truffles or whatever it was, and he ate them. Maybe he went through a chubby phase like we all did, but man, he has a great
Did you go through a chubby phase?
Oh, yeah. Kevin, I have so many pictures. Was
that like a college drinking too much thing or as a kid?
No. As a kid, I was an offensive lineman in 8th grade. I was the chubby kid who was athletic, but when he flexed his arm, nothing would show. Nothing changed because I just had so much blubber there. And I was just always I was the chubby kid who, no matter how much he ran, it just wouldn't come off. So I was the one who was jealous at all the kids who ate all the junk food and the Dunkaroos and the Lucky Charms and they were just sticks. That was me. I was like, no, I eat well and I still can't burn off anything. And then I hit my growth spurt freshman year in high school and then I was fine. But the fact that Brandon, he's totally turned it around, and shouts to the magical elves, shouts to Christmas. But the whole coming off the bat as the villain, and then just doing this little turn to be kind of endearing and, you know what, very helpful. He is the coach that tells you what you don't want to hear, but what you need to hear.
Right. If I'm cooking something for an elimination challenge and my next door neighbor tells me it's a little salty, that's very good information. That's information I might want to take to heart.
At first you're like, hey, that's kind of a dick move. Why don't you just tell me hey, here's here it's fine. Just be complimentary. But no, Brandon's trying to help.
Yeah. So it's very funny. Brian comes on and he says at the beginning, you're supposed to arrive in Top Chef with a dessert in your back pocket. I didn't have one. And so he might want to check that back pocket. It was probably good advice because that looked just like nothing I would ever want to eat. And I tend to be the irony is I tend to be a non-sweet. I love those. Yeah, that new trend in dessert with the hibiscus ice with the Greek yogurt. I am somebody who does truly like the rosemary olive cake. I do like the non-sweet dessert and not somebody who necessarily wants the molten lava chocolate whatever. Yeah. Though I am a sticky bun. Former Top Chef contestant Kelly Lycan did at a restaurant in Vail called Kelly Lycan, had my mom and I's favorite dessert, and still our favorite dessert, which is the sticky bun sundae. So that was really sweet. I will get into sort of the cinnamon caramelly, that genre of sweet. Maybe throw a banana in there, but I'm generally speaking not an overly sweet dessert. But that thing he made that included vinegar was just apparently just really ugly.
Yeah, that's one of those things where you kind of are doing too much. I'm gonna go for the savory thing with throwing some vinegar and some acid. I'm I can't. I mean, maybe there's been a balsamic garnish that I've had on a dessert before, or maybe balsamic ice cream or something like that.
Balsamic in and of itself is sort of, especially a Saba can be really nice, because it has such a kind of a concentrated sweetness, even though it is technically vinegar.
Yeah, and he, I think he ate this one. Like, he owned it. He was like, I just, you know what, this isn't my forte. And he got lucky that he didn't get voted out for this dessert dish.
It was very funny.
It didn't look appetizing. It sure wasn't appetizing when they tasted it. So he got lucky that Kevin was there.
Yeah, it was funny to hear Justin's comments, which very much echoed, ours. It's just like, he's not a dessert guy in general, and I'm not a dessert guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really love a good dessert, but it was funny. I know, like, a lot of my male friends just not dessert people, and Justin's clearly one of those guys, and his cheese plate conveyed his lack of enthusiasm so boldly that I was shocked he didn't end up on the bottom. Because, like, was there anybody in that kitchen who was less enthused to be making that than Justin, who just, like, doesn't even regard dessert as kind of a proper part of the food pyramid in chefology.
I did see him pour like a bunch of makers, but I can't tell if he was putting it in his dish or whether he was like, I'm just going to get drunk while I do this.
I think the latter is a good prescription and very likely.
What was Pablo doing though? What's Pablo doing?
I don't know, and I'm just sort of like, Pablo, as you know, was a very high pick for me.
Yeah,
and he has done nothing.
That dish
since
looked
the first
terrible.
episode. Yeah, to do anything to suggest that he's going to be around for, much longer than MLK Day on this show. Like, I don't like it. I'm almost out of the road. He's almost Jabari Parker for me at this point. Like, I don't know what to do.
Do you want Brandon for him?
Straight up? I mean, no. And while I
wow,
warmed to Brandon,
I think you almost did it. You almost did it.
All right, this is a Who Says No. All right, so I do have a little crush on Brandon.
Okay, all right, here we go. Jade, put on the music, the tense music, Kevin, are we in a trade negotiation right now?
Let me ask you, let me throw it back at you.
Okay.
Can you name one dish that has distinguished Brandon?
Yeah. The Bulgogi Bowl.
Did he finish like in the top 3 of a quickfire last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, the Bulgogi Bowl, the one that went to
the Bulgogi Bowl went all the way
to your girl Gail. Yeah.
All right, but it was a Bulgogi Bowl.
Yeah, but look, you just said there's no chance that Pablo's going to be through.
No, I said I'm concerned.
Okay,
but let's not forget this is still the same man who made a tilapia crudo with green apple vinaigrette, sweet potato bourbon puree, and Togarashi chips.
Okay. All right. You're going to hold on to that, and you're going to. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to make the case. All right. So I'm going to convince myself that I'm not worried, which is, look, there's been a lot of weird fucking shit in the first couple weeks. Food for pregnant ladies, like quick fires where you have to basically use a thimble and like old Lay's potato chips and some almond flour and make something good. Make dessert, even though these are chefs. So the argument for sticking with Pablo and maintaining my confidence in him that made me draft him in the early rounds is this has been a little weird start to the season in terms of the actual challenges themselves and their parameters, right? We haven't really seen them stretch their legs since the first episode. Just make some freaking food. You don't have a lot of limitations. You're not fighting over fucking lemons. You're not like stoner food or pregnant women
sharing
food
18,000 ovens,
or like one oven for like 30 people,
and the other way,
and you can't even make a macaroon, God forbid. So I'm gonna say that I'm gonna stick with. I still think Pablo's best cooking is ahead of him, but I am getting concerned. You know who I'm not concerned about? I'm not concerned about Eddie Money.
No, I'm going with Unsteady Eddie. That's who I'm going with.
Let me tell you
Unsteady
something.
Eddie.
Let me tell you something about Eddie. Eric Ripper comes in and he looks very panicked. And you know what? That man is going to panic his way to the friggin' final episode, because this is the formula. He's going to be a live wire. He's going to be completely incoherent, have an absolute panic attack. And then lo and behold, he'll turn out one of the 2 best dishes on the table. Like, that's what's going on. Like, his dessert looked like something so up my alley because, I think the answer to dessert is a fruit, a nut, an herb, maybe a cheese or a cream. You pick 3, you make the texture interesting, and voila.
Boom.
So, what is better than strawberry, almond, and fennel as a combo?
You know what? I am out on fennel. Get rid of fennel.
Or is it like cilantro quality
No, it's not on that level, but just the whole licoricey, black licorice taste of fennel.
Oh, fennel's nice.
No. See,
you don't like you don't like anise or any of that?
No. So like Eddie, I call him Unsteady Eddie because not only does he seem like he's about to just curl up in a fetal position on the ground and just
it's appropriate fear, Tom. Appropriate fear, like Greg Popovich says.
Yeah, okay, but he did get in the bottom 3 in the quick fire, so it's not like he's blowing the gasket every time.
He was making something from a damn box he didn't pick.
Okay, so that dish didn't do anything for me. Like when I saw it, I thought it looked like I don't know. Strawberry shortcake I'm cool with, but the whole fennel thing, another strike against Eddie. But you know what? That's why he's on your team and not on mine.
I'm a big fan. Other than he screwed his teammates, but that's a different conversation. Can we talk fennel for a second? I had a delicious meal.
Wait. We got a communication, a text message from a contestant this week, Kevin.
Wait, but I want to get back to fennel.
Just to give you an idea, just real quick, when you said about he screwed over his teammates last week, it is true that if you get your purchases rung up by the machine at Whole Foods, you cannot go back. You cannot go back. It is a Top Chef contestant. Let us know.
So he couldn't have been the selfless, let me throw 3 of these racks back.
He could not have done it. It's against the rules. Once it gets rung up, which Kevin, by the way, I don't think it absolves him of any sort of blame here, because you kind of have to do the back of the napkin math here and say, look, this is going to be $500. I mean, it's not like he couldn't do the math back there. So anyway, continue. Right. Sorry to interrupt, but that is the official word from a contestant that you do not get the chance to go backsies.
So I think I mentioned maybe on the show last week, and I've certainly mentioned Good Kind, my favorite neighborhood restaurant in America, which is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They do a dry rubbed fennel pollen rotisserie chicken that is my favorite chicken in America. Just a half chicken on a plate. It is so delicious. And I had a very good cooking week, Tom. So on Monday night, I had an old friend over and I did the dry rub fennel pollen on a lovely chicken that I get from this chicken farm in Missouri, because I'm trying to buy non-factory farm foods. And it turned out beautiful. And so that was like number one. Number 2 is I have been working, because it's fall. You know, it's harder to find vegetables, so I'm into squash right now. I have been making a roasted kabocha squash, and I do a rosemary brown butter. And I toast up some hazelnuts and put it in the brown butter with the rosemary at the last minute. Put that on top of this roasted squash, and then a little date vinaigrette that I make with date molasses and some chopped shallots, just really finely chopped. And this has become a big hit in the Arnovitz Echo Park home. So this is I'm kind of having a great winter of cooking. But I want to crowdsource a question to our audience if we have anybody in Indianapolis. My favorite restaurant in Indianapolis is Bluebeard, but I have to travel to Indianapolis in the next week to have a one-on-one interview dinner. One of those interview dinners you want to kind of be quiet and discreet, so you can't go to a really buzzy place, and I might have a tape recorder on the table. And I'm having trouble finding a place in Indianapolis where you can get both a good meal and that it's somewhat quiet and classy, and kind of like you could kind of sit at a back table on a Wednesday or a Thursday night and not be kind of disturbed, or you kind of can be hidden. So if any of our audience is familiar with the Indianapolis food scene, I would love to go to Bluebeard on any other night, but it's a bit buzzy and it's kind of open. I am looking for that place. And preferably there should be like a good fish item or 2 on the menu that's sort of, quote, healthier main plate.
Man, you're filtering this thing down.
I know.
This is quiet and backroomy and fish and not buzzy.
Like the kind of place that have a piece of salmon or halibut on the menu.
Okay.
Right, not a place that's like nouveau southern. Everything is thick and whatever. As much as I love eating that way, my guests might not. So anybody who has got knowledge of Indianapolis, hit me up at arnovitzkevin@gmail.com. And I'd like some Indianapolis food scene, quiet interview dinner, journalisty, discreet, but good.
And it has to have enough space on the table for the person to have a gallon jug of water.
Right. And by the way, also a place where a person who's relatively large can sit. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Back to the dessert challenge. It was an interesting one. Again, one of those when the greatest critique of Top Chef, I think, Tom, is that, you can never really taste the food as a viewer, right? Like we can sit here and we can talk about whose food we like, but the bottom line is you've never tasted it. And I think with dessert, that's another thing that kind of, in terms of the dessert event, makes me like, who knows if these things were any good.
When you eat as a kid, I'm going to preface that as a kid because I haven't done this in a long, long time. So maybe you grow up and things change. But when I got one of those like jawbreaker candies and you lick it, they're like huge. They're like the size of a tennis ball. And you lick it and you lick it and you lick it. And then your tongue is just like bleeding from being so raw from all the sugar. Is there an advantage to being the first dish chosen by the judges here?
That's a really interesting question. Does your palate kind of after eating 12 other desserts? Yes. Just like, ugh.
Yeah, like if you're the 13th dish, I don't know if they randomize. Like I think I read somewhere that the quickfire challenge they randomize, so it's not like they line up all the dishes and you go one by one by one by one. It's like Padma like goes to like the third table and then the fifth table and then like the first table. But like I'd imagine that there's a little bit of a disadvantage by being like the 13th dish, by the way, at 2 a.m. serving it. Like I got to imagine I was gaining 20 pounds just watching this.
Wait, who was the 13th dish? Do we know? Or they might have been done in sequence, but it's very possible they didn't do them.
So yeah, that's my question. Is I'd imagine there's a little bit of a handicap here. If you're the 13th dish on a dessert menu for at 2:30 in the morning, that's got to be tough. And let's talk about Kevin here. All right, so Kevin does the ricotta dish again. It's too salty, as Coach Brandon says. Tom has the critique that if it's not good or if it's too salty, don't serve it at all, which is kind of one of these old.
Well, I mean, what are you supposed to show up with nothing on the plate? You go
That's
home.
my thing. My thing is this has come up a lot. I feel like it's one of the old catchphrases in Top Chef is if you knew it wasn't good, why did you put it on the plate? And my thing is, what is the guy supposed to do? Walk in with nothing? Like if his dish is the ricotta, he's got to put it out there.
Exactly. I mean, I get the principle behind it and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, he's got to go out there. But the bottom line is he did a really awful dessert, as did Brian and Pablo. Those were the bottom three. Pablo was sort of, even before they made the announcement, was sort of regarded as the distant bad third. So he was safe, essentially. You want to talk about the top three? Not a coincidence that two of the three chefs in the contest who have very specific pastry experience, Kelsey and Nini, were both among the top three. They were joined by Eddie, who did something you would never touch, but this was me, the aforementioned strawberry almond crumble fennel thing. And Kelsey did a pot de creme. She was kind of screwed by the oven situation. Macaroons require this perfect like science to get right, so she tosses them. Ends up doing a pot de creme and biscotti. Repair calls it his favorite dessert of the night. And Nini does this blackberry and lemon vacherin, which I didn't know. It's just basically
no idea what
cream
that was.
and meringue and something. Cream and meringue, just very simple cream meringue components and some fruit, and that's a vacherin. I never heard of it.
Never.
Not my thing. French desserts. And
Nina is,
and she took
Nina's
it down.
A 5-tool athlete, man. She
took it down, Tom. She took it down.
She is a juggernaut. I mean, she's got the pastry dish background. Her and Kelsey is the Smug Pastry Girl Club. Kelsey's already selling those shirts right now on Instagram. Like they have the dessert thing going right now, and Nini's she's got so many different. She is a Swiss Army knife right now. So I'm very proud of Nini. She cleans up. She gets the top 3 in the quick fire challenge, and then she wins the elimination challenge for a total of 11 points. I'm feeling see, like Nini, both of Nini's dishes kind of look like finger foods. They didn't look like, a full conceived dish in terms of like one was a dessert and the other one was like a cheese dish. But man, she knocks it out of the park on both of them. So I was surprised. I thought I didn't know if she would take that, because I don't know. It looked like a toffee brittle thing. Like, it didn't look like it was going to be the winner, but obviously you can't taste it. So we're trusting the judges here. Nini's coming out top. Yeah.
Interesting. I want to survey the field real quick, but we'll talk about or Last Chance Kitchen rather. Michelle Minori has sort of faded, kind of not doing anything exceptional the last couple of weeks. She came, if you remember, she's one of my I have very high aspirations for her. She came out of the box with a carrot top tagliatelle that was just with sumac and Burberry, and I was so into it. Hasn't done much. Eric, once again, very quietly might have had the 4th best dessert. They really liked his Ghanaian beignet. He's done some great looking stuff, everything from the scallop crudo, and last week did some good things. So he's sort of hanging around. I'm looking forward to kind of following him. Hasn't finished in the top 3, but continues. Like, I think has gotten thumbs up. He might be one of the only chefs who literally probably has been in the top half of the standings if you actually ranked 1 to 14 every single challenge so far. So he's consistently playing good ball. Kelsey's interesting. She's gotten some commendation. She was picked toward the bottom of our draft, but seems to be holding her own and seems to have some skills. So she's somebody to watch. I worry about Brian Young. I know he's hipster Joe Flam. I don't know that he's Joe Flam in any other respects. I love his sort of self-deprecating.
He's a great character on this show.
Yeah, he's a funny. Great character on the show. Dude. Truth teller. Just seems to really struggle to distinguish himself, and I'm a little concerned.
Who's got better hair? They touched on it, the curling iron or the flattening iron hair thing in the beginning of the show.
Well, as somebody who before my hair left had jet black hair, I'm always kind of I'm partial to especially I think in a pompadour it kind of the black really kind of is stark. Like when it comes to pompadours and widow's peaks and whatnot, like you like that really bold black hair. Last chance.
Well, first let's go through the scoring.
You want to do
I'm
scores?
at 47. You're at 40. Eddie is your third best. You got 13 from David total, 8 for Sarah, and then 7 for Eddie and Michelle, because Michelle was on the top on the first or the second episode. On my side, I've got 21 points from Nini. 21. Man, she is just killing it. Then we have 7 from Kelsey, 7 from Adrian, and Kevin goes out on his ricotta. Hey, buddy, Kevin, if you didn't do well on the ricotta on the first time with the beets, maybe don't go back to the ricotta. I know you want to be validated and vindicated, but man, that's tough. So Kevin goes home, goes to Last Chance Kitchen. Jim last week gets voted out, so he's out and has to go to the stools of shame. And then, let's talk about this week's Last Chance.
So I think my headline with Last Chance is, and I emailed you this yesterday, I think Natalie has a real shot to work her way all the way back for this reason.
Scream it from the tops of the mountain.
Because Last Chance is a 4-way contest this year. And I am just having trouble seeing a scenario where she is going to have the worst of 4 dishes.
It's not the best. You don't have to have the best, even though she did have the best in this one. But you don't have to have the best. You just have to stay alive.
And to the point, she chose to make an omelet this week in the Last Chance Kitchen was make a breakfast, Christmas breakfast. And we had Carrie Baird, we had Natalie, we had good old Brother Luck, the king of Last Chance, and we had who the hell am I forgetting?
Well, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Yeah. Oh, of course, the new. And Natalie serves what Tom Colicchio, who's probably done a lifetime of eating of omelets. One of the best omelets he's ever had. It's a technical, real challenge. I mean, omelet making is an art. It's not a scramble. I mean, there's a reason a lot of our favorite restaurants now do scrambles. You know why? Because they don't want to futz with an omelet because it requires too much skill. And I just don't see a scenario, Tom, where they're going to be 4 contestants and she's going to have the worst dish. I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, look, whether she becomes the ultimate last person standing, but I'm going to predict right now that 9 weeks from today, she's going to be cooking up in Last Chance Kitchen, kind of motoring along because she is so skilled. And as long as you don't deprive her of an essential ingredient, is there anything she can't do? I mean, she's still probably one of the 2 or 3 best chefs on the season. And with the 4-person non-head-to-head format where somebody can just blow you away with a great dish, and even though you know, Tom's sitting there saying, this was a tough one. I mean, this isn't a tough one. I mean, she just has to beat. It's like, you know, when the bear's chasing you, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the other guy. Yeah. Now this one, you just have to outrun one of the 3 other guys.
Yeah.
So I think Natalie's, I got to tell you, man, I think she's going to truck along. Hey, we had talked some trade. What does the winner of each quick fire get?
3 points.
Okay. And for, quote, moving on in quick fire, you don't get anything?
You top 3, you get 1. Moving on in quick fire, I mean, there's no real moving.
All right, so
are we talking about Last Chance Kitchen, or are you talking about quick fire?
No, I'm talking about Last Chance.
You say quick fire. Okay.
Oh,
Last Chance Kitchen. There's no winning bonus. It's just moving on +1, and if you get eliminated, it's a -1.
So basically, even if she lasted 8 weeks, her max haul would be +7.
Right, but there's no there's no net. She already got her negative, so it's all gravy in that sense.
But
it's a sweetener. So like, I'm
what
not
is
proposing
winning?
this.
What do you get for winning the elimination challenge?
If you win the elimination challenge, it's 10 points.
All right, so there's just not a lot about. I'm trying to. You had thrown her. She is available, as we say.
She's not in the competition. It's hard to justify getting a bunch of points for not winning anything in the competition. It's a minor league system,
right?
know?
So there's just really no incentive to trade.
I mean, we didn't even give any points to people last year.
The reason is I would trade her. I would trade somebody who I think is literally going to be eliminated the next 2 weeks and kind of flame out in Last Chance.
Or Kevin, I'm not proposing this just yet, but
all right.
If I propose to you, let's just hypothetically, Pablo for Natalie and Brandon. So Natalie's a sweetener. You said you wouldn't do the Brandon trade before, but if I threw in Natalie as the sweetener, then things get a little bit different, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, look, I've come around on Brandon as a personality, and I suspect he's a very good private chef, and he has a nice smile. But I'm not sure that he's going to have a positive point total. Like, he's going to take the -5. I mean, it's fair to say he's going to be eliminated at some point. He is not, other than the pregnant lady thing, he has not proved to be a presence. I don't expect to see him be top 3. Okay. Like, here's the question I have to factor. Will Brandon finish in the top 3 of any elimination challenge before he is eliminated?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know. I just, but like,
Kevin, that's why I drafted him. That's why I drafted him 7th.
I mean, the only way he does that is through like some team thing, right? Like, he's on the winning team and all 4 of them, and they get points for, whatever. And I'm not trying to diss on him. I just haven't seen the work in the elimination challenge. He's basically been near or at the bottom every time. So I don't even know that Brandon is a net positive point guy right now in the tournament. And then you were offering Brandon and I got to give up Pablo.
Natalie. You give up Pablo, just a 2-for-1.
I'm not willing to cut bait on Pablo yet. No pun intended. His tilapia crudo just screamed brilliance, and I'm just not there yet on him. I think he's a good chef who's just run up against some just bad matchup conditions in terms of the challenges themselves.
If I wanted Sarah, who would you be interested in on my team?
I'm not trading the Southern Jew. Get out of here. I'm not trading the Southern
Untouchable.
Jew. I've been waiting for a Southern Jew in this competition for 16 years, man.
Oh, I love it.
No Southern Jew is being traded from anybody.
Okay.
All right. This is you're talking to somebody who grew up on kugel next to okra gumbo at the table. Like, this is for me. She is like, I would get her jersey if there were Top Chef jerseys. Like,
oh man.
I am all about the Paducah Jew. So there's nothing going on there.
I am all about the Paducah Jew. That's got to put it on a T-shirt.
That should end up on the starters.
Yeah.
This. Hello to our friends at the starters who lifted a sample from this show. Amused me a great deal.
So Justin and Eric are both guys who haven't gotten in the bottom or the top. It's just they're just moving right along.
And Eric in particular has just done impressive dishes, and no one's had a not nice thing to say about anything he's done.
Right. So they're kind of both, I think, sleeping dragons here, where they're crouching tigers. So I think let's real quick get excited for Restaurant Wars. They did a preview. It is early. 3 restaurants for Restaurant Wars.
What is going on in the Haberstroh home right now?
Oh yeah, we got the in-laws, the kids. I think this means I got to roll out here, Kevin. But yes, get excited for Restaurant Wars next week. We will see you at Pack Your Knives this time next week. Kevin, take us out.
This is Pack Your Knives.
Lovely.